Hey guys, what's up? It's GVKcollectibles, and today we're going to be going to Isla Sorna to see some dinosaurs, but hopefully we don't run into the swift, the deadly, tiger-striped Velociraptor. As I said, today we're going to be taking a look at the Velociraptor, but this is probably one of my favorite Velociraptors in the Jurassic Park franchise. It is based off the Lost World Velociraptor, aka the Tiger Stripe Velociraptor. I really love the design for it. It's very much one of my favorite designs when I was a kid. So, without further ado, let's get into the packaging. Packaging has been pretty much the exact same for all of the Velociraptors and a lot of the dinosaurs for the Amber collection from Mattel. I think they've been doing a fantastic job. They actually released John Hammond and Elliot Sadler images showing those are coming soon. I actually have Ray Arnold and the new Ian Malcolm, so you'll guys probably be seeing those down the lines at some point of me reviewing them. But anyway, you get the cool little medallion, amber medallion kind of thing at the top. You get all the cracks and everything like to show it's ember, which is really cool. Then you get a profile shot right here with the ember and a really cool like embroidered box too. I think these boxes are really cool. So then you have the Velociraptor leaping and ready to attack. The Velociraptor is a shrew and crafty carnivore while wreaking havoc on Dr. Ian Malcolm and other unwanted visitors to Isla Sorna. The Velociraptor's strengths, smarts are no match against a brave and skilled gymnastics. Oh my god, that's the first time I've read that and I didn't see that part. But once again, you get a really cool, with all of these, you get a really cool shot of the actual raptor from the movie itself, which is really cool. Nothing at the top, nothing really at the bottom, just all the credits and everything. So without further ado, let's get onto the Velociraptor himself. And here we have the tiger-striped Velociraptor, aka the one of the Isla Sorna raptors, and I gotta say, I love the paint apps on these. I think, what I know of, this is practically the exact same mold for the Velociraptor that they've been using for the past while, for the blue, the original Raptor, and the whole Raptor squad as a whole. But once again, I think it's a really good mold. I really enjoy this mold. It is probably one of the coolest, like, articulated Raptor figures, I would say, besides the Mesozoic Beast, even though I don't really collect those all too much. But for something that is super, like, kind of, this is what I've always wanted as an adult. As an adult collector, is this kind of line that has been dedicated to these dinosaurs. And for what the articulation is practically identical to the other Raptors, but the biggest thing that sets it apart is its paint apps, and I think this Raptor looks really good as the Velociraptor from the second movie. There are a few like kind of inaccurate pieces, like paint apps, mainly at the top of the head, but that's besides the fact. Either way, I'm heel over heels for this figure. It is really cool. Before we jump into the greater articulation and detailing on the figure, let's take a look at some of the accessories. It only comes with one big one, and it'll be really quick. Alright, as I said, this only comes with one accessory, and it's been the known accessory for most of the Velociraptors in the Ember collection, and it is this Ember base, but instead of it being like the clear Ember color that we're used to, it's actually a pure white color, which is actually really cool. It's just a translucent plastic. It's got a lot of good sculpted detail on it, too. Very much, I think it is the same mold, just it's painted different, and then you get the T-Rex logo right there, which looks really good. And of course, it is easy to just plug the base in, really nothing to it. So yeah, that's pretty much the only accessory it comes with. I figure I'd just talk about it just because there is, the only noticeable difference with it is the cosmetic difference of where it's a clear plastic as opposed to the kind of orange ember color that we're used to. Here we have a close-up of the Velociraptor, of course, the Tiger Stripe Velociraptor, and I gotta say, while this is the same sculpt, you get to see kind of the same detailing and everything within the sculpt. It looks really phenomenal, in my opinion. I love the look of this Velociraptor. It's actually really cool, because they actually did get the golden eye, which the the Velociraptors in Lost World have that kind of one eye, which is really, really cool to see. Like, look at just the amount of the tiger striping. Like, I think for me, this is probably one of my favorite visual designs for the Velociraptor in the films. It is really, really cool. Like, while I like the JP3 Raptors, it is really, really cool. Now, the only part that I say it isn't completely accurate, there's actually, very much like with the whole body, there's actually stripes going down up top here. So there should be actually stripes right there. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. It's a minor gripe, and also mine's got like these kind of weird like vampire bites right here. I think it's just due to like them cutting the plastic, which and like right above there, but it's only a minor inconvenience I think for me. But overall, the detail on this figure is absolutely phenomenal. This is actually going to just be kind of like a little shorter review, just because it is a very similar figure to the blue that we did, which had 1,000 views on it. So I just wanted to thank you guys all for watching that video, and for those of you who are just stopping by watching the review, thank you for watching that video. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the articulation of the Velociraptor real quick, and we'll see some size comparisons. Okay, as I said, the Velociraptor's articulation is practically the same as the other Velociraptors, so its head can look up about that much, which is really, really good, and it can look down really, really good. You have, like, kind of the head joint right here, and it's also got the skull. The jaw can open up, kind of like a double jaw joint where it moves up and down, which is really, really cool. One of my favorite features of these Velociraptors from the Amber collection, just in general, is really exciting. Then his head moves back and forth, which is really, really good. You can look up that far, you can look that far. Arms move out that far, they move in. They're on a hinge so they can rotate around, which is really, really cool. Single jointed elbow for the Velociraptor, which makes sense because a lot of these raptors, they're unlike the raptors in real life, they're actually, their fingers would be like this. They're not pronated like all the dinosaurs within the Jurassic Park franchise, with the exception, I think, of the Allosaurus from the Battle of Big Rock. That actually, Allosaurus actually has his claws are actually, and like hands are in the correct way. They're not pronated like the other animals in Jurassic Park, which a lot of people have problems with. I don't kind of care, because I don't know, I just don't care. But legs can move out that have like kind of like this kind of butterfly joint-esque, I guess I want to say, which gives it a lot more range of movement. Has leg articulation, single jointed all the way up to the feet, and there's also the articulation for the foot, so you can get him into some really cool like pouncing poses, which I think is the coolest feature with a lot of these Velociraptor figures, is that you can get them into such cool poses with each other. You also have the peg hole at the bottom of the carrot of the Velociraptor itself, so it can like pounce on everybody, so that's pretty cool. Articulation, it's a single tail right here, but the articulation is this bendy wire, very much like the older NECA, and look, I'm having a little breakage right there, and I didn't even know this. Probably one of the biggest disadvantages of the bendy wire tail system is due to the tail being like this, of where the rubber actually, rubber plastic actually like kind of degrades over time, which is kind of sad, but you know, it's okay. But either way, the Velociraptor, the Tiger Stripe Velociraptor, while being very similar, being the exact same mold with a different paint job, I still think this is a phenomenal Velociraptor figure. I really like it. I've been liking all the other Velociraptor figures. I like this mold just generally because I think it is a really, really cool and unique mold for this. And it's just great to have kind of fully articulated 6-inch scale figures. It's kind of weird. I'm more in the side of collecting the humans, just because it's like, you didn't really get those. Like, you got humans as a kid, like, but you didn't get too many of them, which is kind of sad. But ultimately, I'm really excited to see the dinosaurs continue. We are actually going to be getting a baby T-Rex, which I'm most definitely going to be picking up, because I love the baby Rex in the Lost World. Probably one of my favorite dinos in that movie, next to the buck T-Rex. So yeah, so the articulation pretty identical to the other Velociraptors, which is, you know, about to expect. I think Mattel keeps on using this mold again, just because I think they, for me, I don't know, like, what kind of improvements I would love to see on the mold. I think it's a really, really good mold already, and it's very unique. But, like, if you guys have any opinions on why you think Mattel should switch up, do like a 2.0 mold of the Velociraptor, give me a heads up and tell me why, because I'm very interested to see, because I really don't have a problem with these, the type of mold on this figure. So, with that out of the way, let's get onto some size comparisons to see what she scales with. Here's the tiger stripe compared to some other kind of creatures that I decided to pull. I got the Mesozoic Beast Pyroraptor. This is from Mesozoic Beast, of course. We have the NECA 6-inch Godzilla, the Kong, the NECA Kong, and also the McFarlane Werewolf, which is a very interesting figure. It's kind of like a creepy redesign of all the classic Universal monsters. So, not really a really unique scale going on here, just because all these animals are different in different scales, of course. But you can kind of get an idea of how big she is compared to some other figures, like a 6-inch figure, like compared to Godzilla and King Kong. I actually think these two. I've actually had this King Kong actually do a picture against the Charlie, and if you want the like them fighting, I think it looks really, really cool. Like if you wanted to say it's like, oh, this is a beefed up, like a beefed up raptor, you want to say, it is really, really cool to see all these characters together. I just wanted to give kind of comparison to see, some other beasts, of course, like other animals and monsters, so to kind of see how they compare. Is compared to the big one, aka the original Velociraptor from the Ember collection, and you could tell, while these are definitely the same mold, you can actually really tell how great Mattel does a really good job on these, like the paint detailing on both these figures. They are very, even though they are the same mold, you can completely tell they are from different Raptors from different movies. This is the OG, this is the Tiger Stripe from the Lost World. And it was actually funny, for the longest time I actually thought the female Velociraptors in the Lost World were just the big one design. Like, I thought it was just, that's how the females were to the tiger stripes, and you could definitely tell, like, the males were the tiger stripes. Actually, no. Jurassic World Evolution actually taught me that the males are a brighter tiger striping, and the females have a little bit of a duller kind of color. So, you learned something new, and I think that was really, really cool. As I said, I think both these, like, while these are the same mold, I think they both really work relatively great. I love both these figures. I think they're great, phenomenal figures. I'm very excited to have these Velociraptors in the collection. So after this, we're going to do one fun little comparison, then we'll give my final thoughts on the figure. Here we have the Tiger Stripe Velociraptor compared to some of the other versions of her, other versions of him, essentially. This is, of course, the pouncing one from Mattel, from the Legacy Collection. I was really happy to get this because it was, like, cool to see the Lost World Velociraptor. This isn't exactly the Lost World version. I do have this guy. The Lost World version of this one is actually the OG Jurassic Park one, but I couldn't deny that the designs were very similar, and also I do have the Lost World version of this guy in storage, but I figured it would be just kind of a fun comparison. And it's also cool within the evolution to see how far the Velociraptor figures have come from both, like, Mattel and everything. I think it's really, really cool to see like this going from, like, this, a really well-detailed, really beautiful-looking and sculpted figure. Not to say, like, this isn't beautifully sculpted. When this came out, I was shocked, even though, like, this isn't a completely accurate mold. Like, it has the kind of roofing of the the Velociraptors from JP3, which is kind of sad, but, like, you know, when I kind of expect it, when you see companies reuse molds, you're going to expect it. I mean, this is a reused mold, but I really love this figure. I think it's a really, really beautiful figure. Here we have the Tiger Stripe Velociraptor ready, roaring at something. We don't know. Maybe it's a Tyrannosaurus, maybe it's another pack member who got a little too greedy with the food, so who knows. But overall thoughts with this Velociraptor, I think it is really, really great. I think a big problem for a lot of people is that they're going to skip this figure, mainly just because it is a repaint. It's a similar mold to the mold that Mattel has been using since really the beginning, since that first Velociraptor, which a lot of people have problems about. I really don't. I love the mold. I think it's a really, really good mold. I mean, I bought the whole Raptor Squad, even though the Raptor Squad should, like, a few of them should have, like, a little different head sculpt mold. Who knows, maybe we'll get 2.0s of those eventually in the future. But overall thoughts, I I really like it. It's one of my favorite Velociraptor designs. Also to note, like with the other Velociraptors, the talons are articulated. I forgot to mention that. And also the paint detailing in the jaw is really phenomenal. I think on this figure, it looks really, really good. Overall, I think the paint on this figure looks absolutely outstanding. I do wish the Velociraptor actually had the stripes going all the way from the top of the head all the way through, because that is the more accurate looking design for the like Stan Winston model. So, but like, you know, not everything is perfect. I think that's the thing. But overall thoughts, I enjoy this figure. If you love the Velociraptors from the Lost World, I definitely suggest pick this up. If not, I would say pass on it. If you're not that big of a fan of it, I would say go after the more kind of cooler ones, like the new human characters like Ray Arnold, the 2.0 Ian Malcolm, which you'll be seeing in the future, and also the Pterodon, which looks, even though I don't have that one, it looks really, really cool and looks really like the Jurassic Park 3 model of the flying reptile, I should say. So, with that being said, that is Figure Review Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed this figure review as much as I did. I love this Velociraptor. It's probably, as I said, one of my favorite designs. And for me to have this, it really harkens back to my childhood of watching Jurassic Park and the Lost World. So for me, this is a no-brainer to get. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to hit like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you get notified when Mythical Mountain Mondays, What's in the Box Wednesdays, and Figure Review Fridays come out. Also check us out on Mercari too, on our respective Mercari shops, GVKcollectibles and Jack's Pop Guy. Links will be down in the description as always. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hopefully your weekend is safe, nice, and relaxing. And with that being said, peace, y'all.